a dearest visitors to the economic world. I'm recently engaged in the study of identity economy, and it's more than an honor to present to you the results that I have come to. Have you ever made a decision that was bad for your wallet, but good for your soul? Typically, making you feel more connected to yourself. Maybe you pay more for fair trade coffee, or perhaps you refuse a job that conflicted with your values. For centuries, traditional economics has told us a very simple story. That humans are rational. That we were walking calculators, always maximizing our self-interests. This story is Homo economicus. But what if that story is incomplete? What if a powerful, invisible force is constantly shaping our economic choices? That force is our social identities. So, what is social identity? It's the part of you that isn't just you. It's the we. It's your sense of belonging to a gender, a profession, a social class, a nation. It answers the question, who am I? And just as importantly, who are we? The groundbreaking economist George Akerlof proposed that we stop ignoring this. He said we should put identity, our social norms, our desire for belonging right into our personal utility functions. Because we don't just get utility from money. We get it from respect, from recognition, and from doing what our tribe believes is right. Sometimes, the most rational choice for your identity seems completely irrational to your bank account. And this isn't a bug in the human system. It's a fundamental feature that we've been ignoring. Now, let's see what would happen when we forget this. In the 1970s, the US and the UK were facing stagflation. The solution? The Reagan and Thatcher tax cuts. The theory was simple, an idea we now know as trickle-down economy. Suppose that if we cut taxes for the wealthy, the benefits would trickle down to everyone else. It didn't work as well. Why? From a pure, traditional economic view, it should have stimulated investment. But from an identity view, it was a disaster. By prioritizing reducing taxes on high earners, such policy overlooked how tax cuts shall affect social stratification. It also ignores how people see themselves and their place in society. The tax cuts introduction weakened progressive taxes and other balance mechanisms, creating along the road a very powerful us versus them narrative. The lower and middle classes saw it as a policy that privileged the rich. And again, it wasn't just about money. It was about respect and fairness. The sense of division grew. Social trust eroded, and inequality worsened. The policy solved an economic number, but created a social crisis because it failed to understand the identities of people it was meant to serve. Despite this, the force isn't just a problem. It is also a profound solution. When we understand identity, we can use it to solve some of our thorniest problems. The way identity theory helps with understanding, and to some extent solve problems, lies in appropriate emphasis on shared responsibility. Social identity strengthens interaction and adaptability between policies and the market. A theory supporting this argument claims when dealing with a contemporary policy challenge, if we take social identities issues into account, we can see decreases in the quantity of demerit good in the market, or more precisely, social external benefits can arise from this act. Look at Australia's anti-smoking campaign. They didn't just tax cigarettes or put scary labels on them. They did something brilliant. They made non-smoking a positive social identity. They tied not smoking to being cool, responsible, and a good citizen. People started quitting not just for their health, but also to belong to the right group. They used the power of we to create a social externality of health. This shows that with nuanced understanding of identity, we can create policies that people follow not just because they're forced to, but also because they want to. Now, before we get too excited, we must be careful. Identity is a tool, and like any powerful tool, it can be misused. Consider Japan's famous lifetime employment system. It was designed to create loyalty and stability. And it did, but it did too well. It created what we call an identity monopoly. Employees' identity became so fused with their company that the labor market became rigid. It created in-groups with lifetime jobs and out-groups with absolutely no security. This led to slow pace in R&D projects and stifling innovation. Moreover, in such an identity-based policy, enterprises face challenges of maintaining collaboration and solidifying of interest groups due to the privileged identity correlation, which collaboration among identity groups is damaged and an inflexible market is built. This meant the policy was also making the entire economy less adaptable. Therefore, we can reach the conclusion that, unfortunately, the policy not only failed to finish its work of expanding the Japanese labor market and speeding up innovative projects, it also, in this case, made situations even worse. As Milton Friedman argued, if you push business too hard on social responsibility, they can feel morally blackmailed and pushed back. Yet, we must always remember the baker from Adam Smith's time. We rely on his self-love, not his benevolence for a dinner. The key is balance. After all that we've discussed, here's a few words for you to take away after this presentation. We're not just rational actors. We're storytellers. We're tribe members. We're people with deep-seated needs to belong. By bringing social identity into economy, we get a truer, richer picture of why people do what they do. It helps us predict real-world reactions to a policy. It helps us design policies that are not just economically sound, but also socially intelligent. It helps us avoid failures and build collaboration. The next time you see a policy challenge from climate change to inequality, ask not just, what is the economic incentive? Ask a more humane question, how does this make people feel about who they are? Understanding our identities isn't a side project in the economy. It is the key to building an economy that works for real, complex, beautiful human nature. Thank you.